Well, it all started in 1959 in Brooklyn, New York, in a school, public school 165. The principal walked into a sixth grade classroom with a piece of paper in his hand. Little did the students know, but that piece of paper would help chart their future forever. It had a list of the reading grades that they had achieved in a recent test. And in 1959, the reading grade was an extremely important test. So he started out by reading somebody's name and said, "Oh, wonderful, you got a 7.3. Anything in the neighborhood of 6.7 would have been considered to be satisfactory. And then he went on and he called another name. And he said, "Wonderful, terrific, you got an 8.5. And then he called a third name and said, "I can't believe it, you got a 9.1. And then he called Joel Heffner. And he said, "That is terrible, 5.4. That was the time that I realized that it was official. I was dumb. And he had the statistics to prove it. He was the principal. Everybody knew that the principal knew everything. This was June. The summer goes by, and everybody knows that I'm dumb. Because it turns out that one of my classmates was also a neighbor who promptly told her mother, who promptly told everybody around that her daughter was wonderful and that I wasn't. So in September, I go into junior high school and I'm in class 7-4. It didn't take long to find out that 7-1 to 7-4 were considered to be the dumb classes. I walk into this classroom and I'm not like anybody else. I'm very shy, very timid. I've got buck teeth and I was a stutterer. Everybody in the class was the exact opposite. This was like a gang that was in a classroom. My only relief during the day was one period a day, I was assigned to a special remedial reading class where there was about a half dozen students and the teacher. It was kind of a relief for me. During the first week of school, it was about the third or fourth day, I was leaving my house to walk to the bus, to go into this den that I was afraid of. And as I'm walking down the street, someone waves to me across the street. It was my reading teacher. And he waves to me and says, "Come on, Joel, I'll give you a ride." Now you have to understand, I didn't even know that teachers lived outside of a building. At that time, they were the gods. Now I'm sitting in the car and I believe that the word petrified was created just to describe me at that minute. And we start talking, or at least he starts talking, trying to make me a little calm. Mm-hmm. And he says, "It's a strange thing, but I noticed that you're doing pretty well in the reading class. I'm surprised that you only got such a low grade." I said, I guess, that's what I deserved. On the day of the test, I told him, I came home for lunch and I had 103 fever. And he said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "How come you went to school?" Well, a Jewish mother has to send their child to school on the most important day of the year, regardless of a minor illness. So she kept me home after lunch. He said, I think I'm going to give you another test. The next day, I was in class 7-7. So it turns out that Mr. Brown basically saved my life. Because who knows what would have happened if I would have been in that original class. I did not fit in at all, emotionally, educationally, and every other way. So it turns out that you never know. Sometimes you're in the right place at the right time. And sometimes you can be the one to do the good turn and not just be the one that benefits from the good turn. So, Mr. Brown, if you're out there, thank you, because you truly changed my life.